Hello, it's been a while. So, part of being an engineer is we have this unfounded belief that we know better than everyone and can just do anything because we're better than everyone. And so on that note, today I'm making jewelry. I have no clue how to make jewelry. I've watched like a tutorial and Googled stuff on YouTube and then bought a whole bunch of random tools. But crucially, not all the tools I need because I don't know why I did that. But I've got some other tools. So I'll walk you through what I have. I have some butane and like a torch. Butane torch here. I'll show you my butane torch. This is going to be a very unedited video, by the way. Butane torch makes butane go. That's that. I've got some nylon jaw pliers. Well, I mean, they're from Amazon, and it said nylon jaw pliers, so you know it could realistically be anything. But in theory, this should help us not scratch things. What else? Oh, I've got some brass rods. I should have prepared this in advance. Brass rods. Brass plates. Because my favorite metal is brass for no particular, I like the look of brass. Yes, it does stain your skin. No, I do not care. Cross-lock tweezers for like holding things. Dry acid compound. I've heard it being called pickle. I don't know why, but you dip shit in it and then it like makes it not be bad. A little jar for that. And then I have some other tools that I already had, like assorted pliers. I made this little copper hooky thing to dip stuff in the acid because apparently you're only meant to use copper for that. And we got like solder flux, silver solder. So let's get started. So I think the plan is roughly as follows. I have this 2mm diameter brass rod. Well, one of them I have one in the corner here, but we only really need one. And I think I'm gonna bend this into a ring shape. Probably about the size of this ring. And then I'm going to solder into a ring, and then I want to cut a little piece of like brass plate, put that on top, make a little triangle or something basic and simple, you know. I'm trying to have a somewhat realistic expectation of my skills here, or lack thereof. Solder that on there, and then we have a little ring, and we'll see. We'll see if it ever reaches that point. It might just be a random collection of brass. Hey, maybe the solder won't even stick. You never know. I've only really soldered electronics before, so we'll find out. I guess so. Let's get started. Oh, I already said let's get started. Let's get more started. Okay, so this ring here has a diameter of what? Let's see how much copper we need. About like, let's say 20 times 3 for circumference. Pi and whatnot. Let's go about 60, and we'll go with 62 because it's more 63 because it's 3.14, 3.15-ish, whatnot. Oh shoot, I need a Sharpie. So I've marked this 63mm down, which should be pi times 20. I have no clue. I just kind of guessed it. So then I'll take my wire cutters, which this is not going to be able to cut this, is it? Ooh. Well, that's dented. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but yeah, you can see it on camera a little bit there. The brass rod flew into the butane tank fast enough to make that sound, but also the brass rod flew into the butane tank fast enough to make that sound, but also fast enough to dent it, which maybe we should. I'm going to put this not on the same table that I'm working on, just in case. We've completed our measuring for the day. I think that's enough. So I'm just gonna, file this down a bit and get it ready to solder. So I got these here. I don't know what they're called. I've always called them like jewelry pliers, but they're just kind of round pliers. I'm gonna try and bend this into the right shape. I did not buy like a ring form. I don't know why I didn't do that. That was silly of me, and I can't find anything that's about the right diameter around the house. So we're just going to kind of eyeball it, which is always a good idea. I mean, it's kind of like more an art than a science, this, isn't it? Maybe I should be using the nylon pliers to bend it. Oh, that would be smart. Would it be smart? No, I don't like that. Yeah, it's getting there. This is not going to be even remotely circular. It's not perfectly circular, but you know what? The ends line up, mostly. Yeah, could I just... I don't want to whack it with a hammer. I feel like that's a bad idea. Let's whack it lightly with a hammer. Let me just lower you guys here so you can see more what I'm doing. I probably should have done this from the start. I feel like that tripod angle was way too high. There we go, that's better. Okay, so the upside is I have this so I don't damage the table. The downside is this is the only size of hammer I own. So we'll see how this goes. Let's see, it's a bit too much in that direction. I'm just gonna give it a light little tap here. I don't know if that's doing anything. Let's try hitting a little harder. Oh, I felt that. Change shape. Oh, yeah, okay, that's round. That's round. So let's just grab this boy. Bend this here. Hell yeah, it's not lined up. All right, so I bent it a little bit past where it is now, and then just sort of snapped it back. Oh, come on, camera focus. And that's made it sort of want to stay where it is. And you can see that like disgusting finish on it. But hopefully, once I've soldered it and pickled it, and then I can just sort of like sand it down a bit, and it'll look rustic, you know. That's sort of a style, right? It'll be like a rustic farmyard ring. Let's go with that. Now, so the tutorial that I saw had them using paste solder, which is wonderful and great. And I like paste solder, except I don't actually have any paste solder. So I did find a couple ones where they were using little soldered chips. I don't have that either, but I have this spool of silver solder, and so I'm just gonna, I just did, clip off a little bit, and then pop that on there. That's gonna be way too much, isn't it? My regular electronic solder flux, I do not know if this is the right stuff. I'm assuming it's the same. I'm just gonna use my leftover bit of brass rod here, and we'll just apply some flux all over that. So this should make the solder want to stick to the brass. So we'll get it all in there, make sure that crack is nice and filled, and that flux is just gonna sort of flow around everywhere once it heats up, and the solder should kind of want to stick to it. And I don't know. It might not. We'll use the flux as glue. Just kind of stick one of our little bits of solder up there. Great. That made a sound. Let's see if we have fire. Yes, we do. Okay, that's probably enough butane for today. I don't expect we'll be using very much. And then we're going to take this whole experiment outside because wood. Alright, almost forgot one last step. We got to make our little acid mix thing. So let's get rid of that hammer. So it says on the back something about ounces and Fahrenheits and whatnot, and I actually don't know. So it says lukewarm water, so I've got some like warm on the tap but not too warm water. I would say it's probably warm, not lukewarm, but it says 125 Fahrenheit, so I don't know how many degrees that is. It's like 40 maybe, which this feels like it's about 30 degrees, so it's probably fine. And then it said put one bag in 24 ounces of water. I don't know what the hell that is, and I tried to figure it out, but then there's fluid ounces, and I just don't know. So I'm just gonna put in a spoonful and kind of hope for the best here, because again, the bar is rather low for how high we're aiming here, and yeah, and then I'm gonna also try not to touch this stuff because I don't know if it's nasty or not. Oh yeah, we got a danger. That's about right. Does that look about right? Yeah, that'll be a good amount, and then we'll just kind of mix that in. Oh wait, shit. This said explicitly do not put steel in the acid, and here I am mixing it with steel. Alright, well let's start this again. Okay, and then I'm going to do a big brain move, and I'm going to mix this with the copper stick thing that I made. I don't know quite why you're meant to use copper and not steel. I mean, well, I know why. It's because the acid will dissolve the steel, and then like It apparently coats stuff with steel, which is, we're not making steel things, so we don't want that. But I don't know why it will dissolve steel and not copper, and it doesn't really matter. I'm not even sure if this is mixing it, but you know what? It's kind of gone all white and stuff, so I'm gonna say that it's good. All right, let's take this whole science experiment outside. So it is snowing. Let me just show you that real quick. Yeah, so it is snowing, but I don't know how badly that's going to affect this experiment. So we're going to just press on here. Well, that was anticlimactic. So I've just put everything on the ground so that I can get a bit more hands, and then I'm going to use this to push the solder on if I need to. Hell yeah. That's just worked. Oh, sorry, my neighbor's starting his beater. Yeah, that's a thing. That's like actually a thing. Oh shoot, I was meant to put it in here. Kind of meant to do that like right after soldering it. So let's leave that in there for a bit. That's like one piece. So I'm gonna try and not do that. I'm going to try and just file this boy down a little bit, then maybe stick something on top here to be like, you know, because basically all I've done is now made something into a circle and soldered it. Like, I think I can do a little better than this. Alrighty, so I'm not sure the sanding went as a success, but you'll see later how well it went. For now, I'm going to cut a little triangle off the corner here. Well, that's just not working. Okay, as it turns out, all you need is a little more leverage. These do a brilliant job. But my triangle was not right, so I'm going to try another one. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's, no. Okay, let's try a slightly different shaped triangle. This is a piece of an old project that I made. Does it look like a little remote control thing? So I finished every one I made. So now we're going to cut bits off of it. There we go, that's a nice triangle there. File this boy down, and then on it we'll go. Alright, so I found at least what I think is a pretty clever way to file this down, and a use of the nylon pliers. You just put them in the handle of the nylon pliers and scratch it, and just, you know, lightly do it on the side of the Leatherman file here. But it is done. Where's the camera? Focus. There you go. You can see it's a little triangle, brassy look. I filed on the corners as well, so they don't poke you when you're wearing the ring. And let's get this baby soldered on. Into the acidy, pickly stuff. See, oh, that looks pretty straight. Although this might have been low quality brass because it looks like that looks like copper, which means I think it basically just dissolved all the non-copper stuff in the alloy. Well, high-tech pickle acid stuff remover. Dry that off, and yeah, so it did sort of copperify on the little plate there, but you know what? I actually kind of like that. It's like a little subtle two-tone look. It's not quite on straight, but it is pretty straight from this angle. You know what? I'm sort of proud of that. I'm actually like sort of proud of that. Okay, well I'm gonna give you some gratuitous shots of it now, but yeah, that's about it.